Rian Johnson. You might know him, you might not. If you do know him, it's probably because you hated his version of Star Wars The Last Jedi. But news is out that he still may be getting his Star Wars trilogy, and we're going to talk about that right now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another movie news video. My name is Joker, and today we're talking about Rian Johnson's return to that galaxy far, far away. So in 2017, we saw Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and wow, what a movie it was. Many people liked it, many people despised the movie, and it split the fan base in half. What has happened since then? A whole lot of controversy. It has now gotten to the point where anytime Rian Johnson's name is mentioned, people just go ballistic. Oh, he ruined Star Wars. Oh, he destroyed... I can't believe he did Luke Skywalker like that. The whole thing is ruined. Disney ruined Star Wars. Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars. George Lucas ruined Star Wars. Star Wars ruined Star Wars. I'm probably exaggerating just a little bit, but that's mainly everything you hear now. Anytime you go to a comment section on anything, be prepared to have your feelings hurt, because it is scary. But yes, it is no secret that there's a good amount of people that do not like The Last Jedi. Majority of the fan base absolutely despises the movie and refuses to even see it as a real movie for Star Wars. And of course, I can understand, there are a lot of really strong choices that were made in this film that we probably didn't see coming from the start, and it is not exactly the story we thought it was going to be going. We also didn't think it was the direction we were going to be going in, especially with Luke not being connected to the Force and not wanting to act like he should and not being a true Jedi Master, and then of course, he finally falls in the very end of the movie, and everyone's just like, what is happening? This is not what we grew up with. And I think it was a bold choice to make, and I think it was a smart choice to make, because you gotta realize that this new trilogy of Star Wars movies, while yes, it is important for the original characters to be coming back, this is more about Poe, Finn, and Rey, the new cast, the new generation, moving into the next set of movies. Yes, that the original cast being, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, they do have a big, important role in this trilogy as well, but it's no longer their story. It's time to move forward. That was a bold choice they made when making this movie. Now, I will agree that I think Rian Johnson just wanted to make his own movie. He didn't look at anything that JJ had done with The Force Awakens. Obviously, he'd seen the movie, but he did not talk with JJ about where it was supposed to go. Now, with JJ coming back with Episode 9, who knows how they're all going to get intertwined and connected, but I'm hopeful. I think JJ's got it covered. So yes, by now, obviously, if you don't know, I do enjoy The Last Jedi. I think it is a good movie. I will agree with Christian Harloff from Collider.com. I do not think it's a good Star Wars movie. It's a good Rian Johnson movie, because regardless of if you like The Last Jedi or not, if you don't like it, that's completely fine, and I understand. That's your opinion, and I'm not going to attack you for it. But it's the fact that Rian Johnson is a good director, period. Just look at some of the movies he's done before. Looper, Brick, or the brand new movie that just came out, Knives Out. They're all fantastic movies because he is a great director. He knows what he's doing when it comes to directing movies. Story-wise, at least with Star Wars, not so much, but that's just how this thing goes. And then, like always, the Star Wars fans got everything in a wad because everyone was talking about how Rian Johnson is now getting his own Star Wars trilogy, separate from the new trilogy that we're getting right now, being 7, 8, and 9. And everyone goes ballistic. No one wants it. He ruined Star Wars with Episode 8. He doesn't need to touch Star Wars anymore. It's literally everyone is just hating on him for like absolutely no reason. It's one movie. Sure, it may not have gone the way you wanted it to go, but you can't deny that what it was a good movie, aside from the fact that it may not have followed the story you wanted it to go. And again, I have to go back to this. If you don't like the movie, that's fine. But you don't need to attack the movie. You don't need to attack people who enjoy the movie. You just have to understand that this was a very risky and bold decision that was made in the movie, and it happened. It's canon, that's what we got. But moving into this new trilogy, you gotta keep an open mind about it. For one thing, yes, it is still Star Wars. Or you think he's gonna ruin Star Wars with this trilogy? At least give it a try, because it is a new trilogy. It is stepping away from everything else. It's not going to involve any characters that we already know. It is all brand new territory. It could be literally anything. It could be Broom Kid from Episode 8. It could be 1,000 years in the future. It could be talking about the underbelly of all the planets and all the bounty hunter scum in the world, like Coruscant's 1313. It could be a thing. Now, Rian Johnson went into an interview with The Observer talking about Knives Out, and now that the movie's done, everyone was wondering what's happening next, and are we even going to get Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy? Because since it was first mentioned, we haven't heard about it since. It's been dead quiet. There was never anything confirming that it was still going on, but there's also nothing confirming that it wasn't happening. And now it looks like we finally got some confirmation that he is still lined up to do the Star Wars trilogy. In the interview with The Observer, he said, I think that the fun and challenging part of it is the dive in, figure out what's exciting, and then figure out what it's going to be. We're doing something that steps beyond the legacy characters. What does that look like? To me, the blue sky element of it is what's most striking about it. I know the way that I'm coming at it is what's fun about it for everyone in George Lucas's film is figuring out. What's the next step? It really makes you think and figure out what the essence of Star Wars is for me and what that will look like moving forward. So even right there, he just shows he's going to capture the essence of Star Wars in some way, shape, or form with a new cast of characters and possibly brand new locations in a trilogy set far beyond what we've already seen within the Skywalker saga. And there's just so many opportunities he could take on. He could be talking about literal bounty hunters that we've never heard of. He could take way in the past, way in the future. Who knows? There's so many different opportunities that he has with the Star Wars world because it is ever growing and ever expanding. And there's literally, it's not possible to cover every single portion of Star Wars that we haven't already seen. It's just the amount of Star Wars we're getting is crazy. We've gotten so many new planets since the new canon was added, and there's still stuff in Legends that has made its way over into new canon, and it's going to just keep expanding for as long as the franchise exists. Now, if you're open to this idea and you're excited about the fact that Rian Johnson is getting his own trilogy, it begs the question, what exactly is he going to be doing? What do you want to see him do? And that's a little bit of a harder question because at this rate, we have no idea. He's doing something completely brand new. The only thing we know is that it's in the Star Wars universe. And like I said earlier, he could do anything to do with bounty hunters. He could do Broom Kid. He could do in the future, in the past. One thing I think that would be awesome to do is if we're seeing something that's never been done before, because like we've talked about in previous videos, Benioff and Weiss are still supposedly having their Star Wars trilogy as well, and everyone's pretty certain that it's going to be related to the Knights of the Old Republic in some way, shape, or form, so it's going to be thousands of years before the events of The Phantom Menace. So, if we're going to be doing something that's never been seen before, I assume to stay out of the Skywalker saga, we're going to be going into the future, who knows how many years exactly. I think it would be a safe bet to go, at the very least, 1,000, maybe 500 years, just to get away from all the characters that we're already familiar with, to make sure that they're not, like, popping up in cameos, since, like I said, supposedly it's all going to be new stuff. But we've seen the Old Republic and how dark and gruesome and scary it was, and we've seen the Skywalker saga, and a little still dark and gruesome, but it's some more up-to-date stuff that we're used to. What does the future of Star Wars look like? Thousands of years into the future. The technology that's already in Star Wars is well advanced and way beyond anything that we'll ever see probably in this lifetime. But imagine the futuristic tech and the abilities that people could have thousands of years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. It blows my mind just to think about that. You know, I think in the future of like the world, we could have flying cars and we'll have, you know, VR headsets that last forever, and we could put ourselves in a literal like virtual world and react and like not be taken out of the immersiveness. But the future of Star Wars, who knows what you could have? You know, the Millennium Falcon's the YT-1300 model Corellian freighter. By then you could get the YT-7000. Who knows? There's literally infinite amounts of opportunity you can get out of a trilogy like this when you just have brand new ground and it says, make it up as you go. I mean, hell, he could do a romantic comedy for all I know, and I'd kind of be down for it. But there's just so much in the Star Wars universe that we don't know about that could possibly happen, and it's exciting when you look at it that way. There's just so much more to know, even with everything that we've gotten so far that is still brand new. Again, it is still within the Skywalker saga. It's still between episodes 1 and episode 9. All that stuff's been filled in. All of it's pretty good and chunked out. Let's go beyond those borders. Let's go back to the Old Republic. Let's go way into the future with, I guess you could call it the New Republic, even though we already have the New Republic. So many different options out there. So many different things we could do. Now we just need Rian Johnson to take the ball and just run with it and create his own story that we'll probably end up liking. But again, if you don't like it, I understand, and that's fine. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think of The Last Jedi? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And based on that, what do you think about Rian Johnson getting a new trilogy that is based around nothing we already know, but we know it's Star Wars? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. Like I've said, I enjoy The Last Jedi. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but I enjoy it for what it is. Hearing that we're getting a new Star Wars trilogy that is going to be completely brand new stuff that we've never seen before, no characters that we've already known about, no plot lines that we already know about, it's exciting. I want to know what happens. Again, let's talk about it in the comments down below. But until we get any more confirmation on Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, and until we know anything about what it's about, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more movie news videos, or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.